New Jersey this weekend, of course, is Division 1 turn. Remember, today we are deciding the World Driver Championship, and there's a very, very good chance to win the title today, as he has 34 points of lead on Zlat, who is in P2 right now. So he can also lose some points. He can lose a maximum of 4 points and still be champion. So I think it will be a very tight battle between the two, but Andy has surely more chances today of bringing the title. As we saw a quick practice session earlier before this qualifying. Andy Tash were dominating already, so let's see if they can repeat that in this official qualifying session. As let's look into the reserves today, we have Blaze, Reese from D2, and also Wolf reserving today in Division 1. And also some D3 drivers. We have Yoto reserving today, as he did previously. He did also a very good race in Division 1. He took P5, I think. So yeah, that was a very good drive for him. Let's see if he can repeat it today. Now, Save and Yoto are actually battling on track right now, so I think their laps will be compromised in this qualifying. But let's look behind now. Everyone is starting their laps. We have around 1 minute and 45 seconds of out lap, so we can check it out towards the end of the qualifying to see if someone will have last chance to the flag. As you see, Zero is actually lagging a lot, so hopefully he is not having the same internet issues he had in Division 3 European Cup last season. Yeah, he's lagging a lot. I have no idea what's happening, so let's see if he can rejoin the race normally. As Blade ends going purple in the first sector, so that looks like he's going already for the provisional pole position. He's reserving for Switch GP. Remember, Switch GP is actually in the lead right now for the team championship. He has a 7-point lead gap on Peanuts Delight in P2, but Peanuts Delight today has both drivers racing, while Switch GP has only Blades, so doesn't look like a very good situation for them, but everything is possible. So we'll see as Andy has gone purple in the second sector, but he has despawned, so that's his lap ruined. I see the first people on the line we think will be Sved. He goes with a 24.3 into provisional pole position. Yoto takes a 24.9 and goes to P2 provisional, as Blaze takes actually the provisional pole position with a 24.2, so that's a good lap for him. That will not surely be the pole time, as we saw a lot of drivers into the 23s into the practice session, as Dustin has gone purple and he takes pole position. That's a very good lap for him, as he goes straight on after his lap. So we have already a tight battle, so let's see. Surely Andy will challenge them for the pole position. I think his personal best in the practice was a 23.6, so still a lot of margin for improvement. The fastest time we saw in practice was a 23.4 by Sved, so let's see if he can repeat that, but doesn't look like yet, as I don't think no one is in their lap right now, as Andy is just starting his second attempt after despawning in the first one. So now we'll wait for some sectors and we'll look out for purples. We talk about strategies for today's race. Probably it will be a one-stopper. We saw in previous practice races a lot of drivers going for the hard tires at some point into the race. We saw some hards to softs to have a last lap attack, as we saw very close finishes also. But also a good strategy is medium to hards. So starting with mediums to take a good track position, then try to defend it with the hards towards the end of the race. Also, this strategy can be reversed. So starting on hards, then going to mediums towards the end of the race. As now Andy is in lap. Tash has gone 2p2 with a purple last sector, so that's a good lap for him, but he will surely try to take pole position. As Andy has not gone purple in the second sector, so it doesn't look like a very good lap for him. But still one sector to go, so let's see if he can challenge for the pole position. Let's see around the final corner, that's a very clean. He goes a slight tap into the wall, but still good. Let's see on the line. And he does go to pole position with a 24.1, so that's enough to take pole position, but not a very good lap. So he has the pace to improve it. Let's see if he can do so. As now Sved and Dust are improving first and second sector. Sved goes into the line now, and he goes to pole position. Already another pole position change as he goes to a 24 flat. So we are very, very close to the 23rd. Now let's see Dust onto the line. Let's see, it does improve, but doesn't improve his grid position. As Dustin has gone purple in the first sector, it's gone a bit wide here in turn 5, so does it look like a very good second sector, but that first sector was surely very good for him. Now let's see on the hairpin, very tight, very good exit. Let's go on board with him if we can. He's now going down the straight. Let's see if he can. Very good speed. Now Seva, the first into the 23rd. He has gone pole position ahead of Sved. So that's a very good lap for Seva. Let's see if he can improve it. He has time to do so. But also lots of drivers will try to challenge that time. It's surely doable. So let's see if someone can do it. Now Dustin has not improved his second sector. Now he's going around the last sector. He's not doing massive mistake, but not a very good clean lap for him. But let's see on the line if he can improve. He does improve. He goes to P3 ahead of Andy, so that's a very good lap for him. As now everyone is in their out laps. Maybe Zero is in lap. Yeah, Zero is doing his first lap, so all green sectors for him. Not a real indication of his pace right now. But let's check it out. His last turns, they're very clean, very tight through the last turn. So he will have a massive speed down the straight. Let's see what he can do. Now on the line, he goes to P8. So that's a decent position for him. But he surely wants to improve this lap time, and he has time to do so for the last qualifying attempt. Now, Wolf is in his lap. He's not improving his first sector. And he also is in this lap, I think. Yeah, he is in this lap. He's improving first and second sector. So let's see what he can do. As Fed also is improving first sector. Now he's going down the hairpin. It's a very crucial part to get right, and he does get it right. And now Andy is going through the tight chicane of sector 3 onto the last hairpin and the last turn. Very good exit speed. He will surely challenge for pole position. Let's see if this is enough. It's not enough. He goes to P2 just behind his previous teammate in season 3, Seva. So I think he does not have a time for another lap. So that's his qualifying done. So yeah, now Seva is in provisional pole position. No one looks like he has the pace to challenge him, but we see now Sved is not improving second sector. Let's see on the line. It doesn't improve. He's going for another lap, but the tires are already very worn, so I don't think he can do it. Now, Tash is improving his first sector. So probably Tash is the only driver that can challenge for pole position now. Let's look at the hairpin. Very tight and very good exit. So let's for now have a good lap for him. As Bacons now has joined very late, I think, and he is now going his first and only lap of this qualifying session. Let's see what he will go to P8, just ahead of his teammate Zero. So it's also a decent lap for him. Tash has not improved his second sector. He hasn't time to another lap, so that's his qualifying done. Sved is not improving first sector with his dead tire, so Slata is going to P5. So also a good lap for him. Beckons is doing a second lap and is improving first sector, so maybe he can improve some tenths. So let's see if he can do it. As I think no one... Ooh, Blaze goes to P4 with a very good last sector. He has gone into the second row, so that's a good effort for him. As Code Beckons has despawned, so we have only 7 cars to go, but no, he is improving, sorry. Only Dust is improving second sector, so let's see if he can do something in the third sector to improve his lap time. As Zero has gone up to P9, so he re-enters the top 10. Let's see Dust. He doesn't improve his lap time. Also, we have Astro has just joined, so he will start the race from the back of the grid. But the race is long, so he has time to recover as Yoto has gone into the barrier, so that's his lap done. Reese also doesn't improve, and Axel improves, and also Wolves improves, so they go to P14 and P12 respectively. So they will start from the back of the race, or the back of the grid, sorry. So that's qualifying done. We have Seva on pole position, with Andy just behind him. Zlatan will start to P6, so his chances for to battle for the Drivers' Championship are slipping away. But we see if he can recover into the race. And so let's look at the starting tires. I think Zlatan is disconnected. I don't see in the list, so that might be massive. Let's see if he can rejoin in time. He has only 13 seconds to do so. I think he has rejoined on time. Yeah, I see him in the server. He has 29. I think he is on the grid. Not yet. So I think he is on the loading screen trying to join. He has only 10 seconds to the start of the race. This is very close for him. Let's see if he can do it. I think he has done it. Yeah, but he will start from the back of the grid. But now the lights are on. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights here in New Jersey. And we go underway for the Division 1 race. Everyone has got... Ooh, Zlatan is stuck on grid. What's happening to him? Yeah, I think he had a glitch. Yeah. So he's already out of the race. So this basically gives already at the second turn, Andy is World Driver title for Formula Robots League. So we will talk about it later after the race. But yeah, quick look at the tires. We have 5 drivers on Arts and Seva in the lead with Arts. So that's a good effort for him, but he will probably lose some positions later in the race as we have a very close battle for the lead. Dustin has gone slightly wider hairpin, also touched behind, loses some position. And now Andy has taken the lead of the race. Dustin with a great momentum with the slipstream. Down the center already goes past Seva, maybe even Sved. Yeah, he does go past Zev. Now we are closing the second sector of this first lap of the race. Andy is already trying to run away from the field. He's putting a gap. Now he's only half a second of the gap, but with this very, very close battle, this is a good gap for him. Everyone has gone pretty clean through the chicane of Sector 3. Now we are closing the first lap of the race with Andy in the lead and running away. As Dustin's done a mistake, he's lost some position. He's down to P8, so not a good start for him. Also, we have a very close battle at the back of the field. I think Astro has done a mistake. He's well behind the pack, so let's see if he can recover. And now Sved with the slipstream is trying to pass Andy for the lead of the race. You go around turn 4, very clean. Sved goes into the wall and he will lose some speed and is going wide also. Let's see the hairpin. Both going very, very tight. As Blaze now is up to P3. So he's trying to take this podium as a reserve so that if he does take the podium, it will be a very good drive for him as he's trying to get past Sved with the slipstream. They are side by side down the chicane and Blades does take the pole position for a moment, but Sved with better braking takes the position back. So let's check the battle for P4 with Dustin and Tash. They're basically side by side. As Tash goes slightly into the wall, he will lose some speed, but it's not enough to let Dustin by yet. As Andy, I think, will take the fastest lap of this race. Yeah, Tash takes the fastest lap of this race, but still some time to take it, as it's at 24.1, so that's a good lap for him, but it's solely someone can challenge him for that fastest lap point. As now Blades has gone back to P2 after that attack at the chicane, and with the slipstream has gained a lot on Landy, so Landy looks like he has the best pace through the corners with the clean air, but they're gaining a ton of time with the slipstream. So let's see if he can attack him down the straight now. All three drivers take very, very good airpin there. So they will have a massive slipstream down the straight. And Blaze is approaching very quickly, and Sved also approaching very quickly with a better double slipstream. Sved goes past Blaze, maybe even Andy for the lead. When it's gone slightly wide there, so he will have a worse end. Andy corner cuts, he will lose a ton of positions. I think he will be just ahead of Tash, his teammate. So that's a very big mistake for Andy. And now Sved is into the lead of the race with Blaze just behind him. As now Tash is trying to pass his teammate Andy for P4 and for P3, and trying to catch also Blaze just ahead. As Sved takes the fastest lap of the race. It's a 23.9, so that's a good lap for him. Tash has gone slightly wide in turn 1, he will lose some speed compared to Dustin behind. We will have a massive slipstream down the first straight of this fourth lap of the race. As Blaze is very close to Sved. Now we are closing the first sector, but with a wider line he will lose some speed in the exit here. As Andy with a way better turn is closing on Blades, and we'll have surely an opportunity down the hairpin with a later braking. He does take the position. That's a very good attack for him. So now he will try to take back the lead of the race. He has lost the last lap with a mistake. As Sved is trying to break the slipstream, waving down the straight. Blades and Andy are side by side. Let's see who will take P2 and maybe even the lead here. When the corner cuts, he will lose the position on Tash. So Tash has gone into the podium now and is down to P4. Sved is keeping the lead for now. So let's see if he can keep it by driving very clean. As Blaze has not done the best of third sector and is just under attack of Tash for his P2. As we are in the fifth lap of this race. Still a very close battle. Seva, the pole sitter, is down to P6 and he has also the slipstream on the train ahead. As Blaze has gone past Sved, so I think Sved has done a mistake while I was not watching. As now Tash has the chance of passing him in turn 4, which just ahead, but he will go wider here with the more speed he carried into the corner. So they're side by side down the hairpin. They both will have a massive slipstream on Blades. We think someone has gone into the wall. Yeah, it was Tash. Tash has touched the inside wall of the hairpin, so now he's under attack of Seva, who did not have the slipstream yet before. So now he has a very good chance of catching up for the lead of the races. We have 3 wide between Andy, Dustin, and Sved for P2, and maybe even P1 as Blades has got a ton of speed at the end of the straight, but this is foursome for the win and for P1 at the moment, but it's a very close battle. Let's see who will come ahead. Yeah, there's basically side by side, nothing separated the drivers. There's a very interesting battle to follow, as I think Sved has taken the lead of the race. Yes, he has done that, as Andy has slightly corner cut it on the last turn. So he has gone back to P4 as Seva and Tash are battling very closely. And they are 3 seconds behind the lead of the race, so not a very good situation for if they want to win the race, but still a nice position for them, as Andy has gone past Dustin in the first sector, so he will be in P3 now. As Blaze and Sved are battling now for the P1 position. Now down the hairpin. Andy has gone a bit wide. Also Blaze is gone a bit wide, so we will lose some exit speed. So now let's check with the slipstream who will have the best speed at the end of this straight. They're already 3 wide for P2. Sved is losing us some speed now without the slipstream, so I think Dustin has taken the lead of the race for a brief moment, but Sved has gone back into P1. So this is very close. The cars are not very distinguishable at the moment, as Sved has gone into the wall. He's gonna give a massive chance to Dustin. I think he has taken P1. Not yet, very, very close. And Dustin is into P1, but all 3 drivers behind him have a chance of attacking him with the slipstream into turn 1. It's very close. Andy, with late braking and inside line, has tried to take the position, but it didn't work out well, as Blaze behind has touched the wall. So he will lose some speed. As Tash and Seva also losing time. So now Dust has a chance of battling for P5. So now the lead of the race is a threesome battle with Blaze 1 second behind them. So he still has the slipstream, which is crucial here in New Jersey, but some ground to make up if he wants to take the win of the race. As Andy has gone again wide. So this will be helpful for Blaze to catch up. And now Dustin will have a massive slipstream, only 1 to have, so. And maybe attack Sved, but he doesn't take the slipstream on the final part of the straight, which is crucial, so he will not have a chance of attack, and he also goes wide. Sved is gonna cut it. So they both done a mistake, and this has given Andy the lead of the race back after some laps, after a mistake in that chicane too. So he's taking back the lead of the race now. Also putting quite a gap with 7 tenths only in a few corners. Now it's up to 1 second, so Dustin and Sved need to work together to catch up with the slipstream on Andy. Let's see how this will turn out, as the top 5 is all on mediums, so they will the drivers on hards like Seva will gain back some time at the end of the race with a much better grip. Now Blaze and Sved are battling for P3. They're 1.5 seconds behind Andy, but they still have the slipstream thanks to Dustin, with basically the midpoint between Andy and them. They both take a very clean hairpin, but now Dustin will have some slipstream down the straight, not enough to attack, I think, as Andy is trying to break it, weaving in the straight. But Dustin still gaining a ton of time now. Is 4 tenths the gap. I think it will be 3-2 actually at the end of the straight. But with lots of speed he carried into the chicane, I think it's gonna be wide, so he's back to 1 second of gap. Now they're all driving very cleanly. Never mind, Blaze has gone into the wall, so he will lose the position on Sved. As also Tash is catching up on them. Tash is just 1 second behind them, as Sved and Blaze are risking to lose the slipstream on Dustin and then lose the chance of battle for P2 now. So let's see if they can catch up. The gap is now 1.4 between Sved and Dustin. So I think Dustin, being a teammate of Sved, will try to help him as much as possible, but now Sved has lost the slipstream. So this is crucial. Let's see if he can make up some time with the driving. Now the gap is just into the slipstream, 1.5. So he will have the slipstream down this straight, unless he has done. Yeah, he will have the slipstream with a 1.4 gap now. As Blaze and Tash are battling very closely, so they also will have a massive slipstream on Sved ahead. As Sved is not enough to keep up with Dustin. He has lost time into the straight, so the slipstream is not working much. As Tash has gone past the Blades 4P4, so that's a good recovery for him after his massive mistake previously. As Dustin also is losing time on Andy, he's 1.3 behind, so he's done a mistake as Usfed goes into the pit. We have the first pitter of this race at lap 9. That's a very early pit for him. He will try an undercut. So he will surely go to Rs unless he wants to do a two-stopper. So let's check out what tires he will go to. That's his speed bot is just he misses it, so he will lose some time and he goes to Arts. So let's see if he can make up some time and make this undercut work. Let's monitor the gap when he leaves the pits. The gap is 20.5 seconds. So let's see if he can gain some time with the hard compound tire. As Dustin is on the edge of losing slipstream on Andy. He's 1.3 behind and he's gone slightly wider hairpin, so he will lose some time. As Tash also has the slipstream on Dustin. Yeah, and Dustin has lost the slipstream. So this is working well for Andy. As Fed is already up to 22.2 seconds. So Fed is gaining a ton of time right now. So maybe Andy, Dustin and Tash and Blades will have to respond this lap if they don't want to lose a lot of time on Fed. As Fed now is 22.1, so he's gaining some time, but not much at the moment. Let's see if someone will respond or not. Andy goes on. They all go on, so they won't respond to Fed, so this will go on the advantage of Fed at the moment. But they still have some pace into their medium tires, so let's see what they can do. Now we have Bacons and Risa into the pits, especially in P9 and P10. They are both on medium, so probably they will go to Arts too, as now Dustin is well out of the slipstream of Andy, and Tash is passing him with the slipstream. Yeah, he does go past, so Tash is back up to P2 with a 2-second gap on Andy. So Andy is trying to run away at the moment. So we might see this driver speed in this lap. It's lap 11, so these medium tires are already starting to die, as this is basically the point where these tires start to drop off massively. As Fed is 21.1 seconds, so he's gained 2 seconds on the lead group. So this is working very well for him, as Arts go very, very easily to the end of the race. So this is a very good call for him. I think they should pit if they don't want to lose even more time now. Let's see, Andy will pit. Yeah, he does go to the pits. Let's check the very difficult pit entry. He does take it very well. Dustin and Tash go on, and also Blaze goes on, and he goes past Tash. And Seva now is catching up. Our tires now are starting to have a massive advantage on the mediums. So this is working very well for him. Let's check Sved, where he will end up. Andy goes to Arts. He will now leave his pit bots. Let's see, Sved will pass him now, but Andy has a very different pit Etsy. So let's see, this is very close. Sved is just ahead, but he will have to go slightly wide, so Andy takes the lead of the race. Sorry, the lead of this battle for the win. But Sved is a very good position. He has gained 2 seconds on Andy, so that's a very good call for him. I think as Seva now is going past Tash, so these medium tires of Dustin, Blaze and Tash are completely dead right now. And Seva is passing them easily, so I think they should pit right now, or their chances for a win will be gone, as now their gap is 17.1 seconds, so they're around 4 seconds behind Andy and Sved. As now Andy also has the slipstream of Axel, who has not yet pitted, so this is working well for him. Let's see if he can pass him now. Yeah, he does go past him, so now Sved will have the dirty air for a corner, as he has gone past already. So Dustin and Blitz are into the pits, and also Tash. So all 3 drivers pit. Also Dust behind them pits. So with 15 laps to go, they will try to go to Arts, I guess. Let's see, they Blades and Dustin go to Arts. Dustin gone to Arts and Dash also to Arts. So let's see where they will end up. Yeah, they're well behind Fed and Andy. As Fed, I think he has done a massive mistake while we were watching the pits. As now he is 2.3 seconds behind Andy. He was battling very closely. So I think the dirty air of Axel ahead is compromising him a lot. So he's tapping Axel in the chat. So I think he's very angry with him, as now Blades, Dustin and Tasha right behind him. So it was working very well for Sven just before the previous lap, but now he's gone back to his previous situation. So that's how a race can turn upside down in a moment. Now he surely want to go past Axel as soon as possible to not have the dirty air and maybe try to run away from the group behind. As Dustin and Tasha are losing a lot of ground on Blades, who has cleared them very easily as a 2-second gap now, so they won't have the slipstream on him. But now Blades has catched up with Sved, who is struggling a lot behind Axel, and Andy is running away easy with Sved has gone into the wall, so now Blades will have the role of passing Axel and try to catch up with Andy as he has gone a bit too wide there. Ooh, Blades is Blades has disconnected. So that's his race done. Blades is out of the race. That's his massive race implications for him. And also for Sved, because I think that was his only chance to catch up with Andy, who is running away now. Andy is 3 seconds ahead of Sved, and Sved is still not going past Axel, so he's struggling a lot with the dirty air, but now we'll have a massive slipstream as they're side by side down the hairpin. He needs a very good hairpin to go past him. See, he has gone past him, but now Axel will have the slipstream, so if Axel goes past Sved will not be in a very good situation in the third sector. And now let's check up with the drivers who have not yet pitted. The top 3 is still yet to pit, 7-0 and Yoto. So they're looking to join behind Dash. So Seva will have better tires and we'll have a chance of catching up later in the race. So let's see what he can do later. As also Yoto is doing a decent race. He's 3 seconds behind Zero. The reserve from B3 is doing a good job for now. As Fed has gone past Axel and he's gained some time on Andy. Now the gap is 2.8 seconds. So let's see if Andy is losing some pace or if just a mistake there. As the battle now, Axel has done a mistake, so he's lost the position both on Tash and Dustin. So now Dustin and Tash will battle for P6. And now Sved is 2.7 behind Andy, so he's slightly gaining, but Andy also is gaining on Yoto, so he will have the slipstream if he gains just 9/10 more. As we have passed the midway point of this race, we have 14 laps to go, 13 just on the line. So everyone has gone to a medium hard strategy. All the guys who have pitted yet, but the top 3 who is on arts can try to go to mediums shortly. Just the next lap, the pit window opens for them. Or if they want to risk it, they can go on and try to get softs for the end of the race and maybe also take the fastest lap if they feel like it. So they still have some opportunities for a different strategy, as now Andy is in the slipstream of Yoto. Yoto looks like he's struggling a lot on his Warner hard tires. As Sved now is losing some time as Andy has the slipstream on Yoto ahead. As Dustin also is gaining on Sved. So actually Sved is losing some pace now, or has done a mistake. Either of them. Now Yoto has gone wide at the hairpin, so he's lost a lot of speed. And Andy now will have a massive slipstream down the straight. Yoto is slightly waving, so he's trying to break the slipstream on Andy behind. And also touches lots of slipstream on Dustin ahead, so that's also another battle over. Now Andy's just behind Yoto. I think he will go past with a better head speed. Yoto breaks later, and Andy is past Yoto, so that's good for him. Yoto is trying to pass him, so he's not giving up his position easily. Andy is going into the wall. That will compromise him very much, as now Yoto is back into P3, and Sved has gained 1 second on this lap, so Sved is gaining a ton of time. He just needs 7 tenths to be in the slipstream. So if Andy and Yoto keep battling, this will turn out very good for Sved behind, as we have 12 laps to go in this race. And it tries the switchback move on Yoto. It's not working yet, but he has much better grip out of turn 4, so he's gone back into P3. But Yoto will have the slipstream, so we might see the same situation that we saw before with Axel for this position. We see as Sved is 1.7 seconds behind Yoto, so he's very close to have the slipstream on him, and also have the slipstream also on Andy, as Yoto has the slipstream on him. So we'll have a trained for P3 if Sved just gains some time back. As Yoto with the slip, Yoto's gone very wide. I think something happened to Yoto. He has lost 2 seconds. Now Sved will go past him. Yeah, Yoto is slowing down, so no idea what he's doing right now. He's going into the wall too, so Dustin and Tash will pass him very shortly. So this was turning out pretty well for Sved, but now he's back into the situation of having to catch up with Andy only on paces. He's 2.7 behind him, so he needs 1.5 seconds to be well into the slipstream of Andy and battle for the lead of the race. Now Yoto is being attacked by Dustin behind, who is now under attack of Tash. Tash has gained back the time he has lost before. So now we have a very close battle for P6, which is virtual P3 actually, because all 3 drivers ahead will have to pit before the end of the race. And I see Tash with a better hairpin. I think he will take the position, not because he has gone wide at hairpin, but now we'll have the slipstream of Dustin. But Dustin also had the slipstream of Yoto, so this will not be very good for Tash. And I think we'll have to wait another lap for an attack opportunity. And now Andy also catching up with Zero ahead. Zero and Seva are still yet to pit, remember. They're on hard tires. I think they will pit very shortly. Yeah, Seva does go into the pits, so that's the lead of the race is into the pits. Zero doesn't pit, so either he wants fresh or medium, so he wants to go to softs and try to take the fastest lap of the race. As he also is gone into the pits, so he will go to mediums too. Seva with a very cheeky pitting, so that's a very nice stop for him. He will go to mediums. Let's see where he will join back the race. He's just ahead of Riese and just behind Axel. So now he will try to go past Axel, who is on old arts. Actually, he's also yet to pit. So I think we'll pass him very, very quickly if he doesn't suffer the dirty air as much as Sved has done previously. Now Sved also has done a mistake. I think he has lost 2 seconds on Andy, so yeah, it's not playing well for him. As now Andy is into the slipstream of Zero and also both green sectors, so he's maybe trying to take the fastest lap of the race on this old hard tire. So if he does so, this will be a very good lap for him. He's now in the dirty air of Zero, so this will not be a very good third sector for him, I think. As Zero is still keeping the lead of the race and doesn't pit, so Zero must be going to the soft tires for his last stint of the race, as he's staying on track. Let's see if he takes the first lap. No, he doesn't. So the DTR has compromised his pretty nice lap he has done previously. It's now Seva has cleared Axel for P7, so Seva will try to catch up first his teammate, who is just in P6 just ahead of him, with 3 seconds up the road. So let's see, he's the only car on mediums, as Yoto has gone to a very long soft stint. So that's a very interesting strategy for him. I think he will suffer a lot towards the end of the race on the last laps, but maybe he can try to take the fastest lap, as the fastest lap is 23.979, so that's beatable if you have some pace. Now Andy has gone past Zero with the slipstream on the straight, but Zero gains back some speed, and they are side by side down into the chicane of sector 3, the fast chicane of sector 3 actually, and Andy has taken the lead of the race back. So after, I think, around 10 laps since he has pitted, he has gone back into the lead, as Fed now will have to pass Zero next, as Dustin and Dasha are actually gaining on Sved, so that look like Sved will have to defend shortly, as Zero has gone into the pits. Let's see if he will go to softs to try to take the fastest lap of the race. Also, he has a very far pit box, very conservative stop, and he does go to soft. So let's see if he can take the fastest lap later. So let's check out with the battles on track. The only battle on track is between Reese and Bacons, and also Atse behind, who is still yet to pit. So Atse will try to go towards the very end of the race to pit to, I would say at this point, a soft compound tire. And now Bacons has gone slightly wide, so Reese with a way better turn will gain some time. He has gone up to half a second. But now let's check back with the battle for the podium now, between Dustin and Tash. For Tash, it is a very useful points for the team championship, as Switch GP will not score any points today, as both drivers are out of the race. So these are very crucial points for them, and they're basically taking a very massive lead in the team championship towards the last round, will be next week in Kilima. And so Dustin has not taken a very good last turn, so Tash will pass him on the line. Yeah, he does go past 4P3, and now let's see if he can keep it, or Dustin will pass back with the slipstream later, as they are catching up very quickly on Sved. It's just 1.9 now, the gap between Tash and Sved. So still 7 laps to go. Let's see if they can catch up and maybe pass him, as now Sved is on older R tires, so he has done a 3-lap undercut on them. So let's see what he can do, as now Seva has catched up to Dust, as Zero has gone purple in the first sector. He will have the slipstream of Reese and Bacon, so this will, if he manages to pass them undamped on the straight, this will be a very good lap for him. And Zero has gone very late into the hairpin, so he will lose some time. So let's see if he can take the slipstream of his teammate and Reese ahead. He's not taking the slipstream, so not sure what he's doing. I think he's either not seeing them for lag or something. But now let's see, Tash and Dustin are still battling. Tash has gone slightly wide at the typer hairpin there, so Dustin has gone up into the last podium position, but he has gone back wide at the last turn, so Tash is back into P3, and they're still gaining on Sved. And Seva takes the fast lap of the race just by 50 thousandths of a second, so yeah, that's a good lap for him, and he will take the fast lap point for now. Let's see if Zero can do a second good lap on this soft. I don't think he will do that, as he needs lots of grip to take the first lap alone. So yeah, we'll see. As now Seva is clearing his teammate Dust behind. Not sure if they want to work together to catch Tash, or if Dustin will just leave clean air for his teammate ahead. So now Seva has a gap of 2.5 seconds on Tash ahead. So he has the pace to catch them, but we see if he can do that before the end of the race. Now, Dustin has the slipstream on Sved, so Sved is losing some time with the older tires. So if they are looking to catch up to Sved very shortly, and we'll have a freeway battle for P2, as now Dustin has gone slightly wide there, so Tash will have a better exit. Also on the line, they are separated by basically nothing, and they have a very slight slipstream on Sved ahead, who Dustin has gone very tight into turn 1, who touches the wall at the exit of turn 2, so Dustin will go past again, and Seva behind is 2.4 seconds, 2.3 now, so he's gaining a lot on the last sector, but not much in the other two, as they are slipstream sectors. And now Dustin, if he takes a good hairpin, will have the slipstream of Sved. Let's see, yeah, he does have the slipstream on Sved. He is 1.4 the gap now. So now we'll gain more and more speed as we go on in the race. Now the gap is 1.1. Yeah, 1.0 now on the end of the straight. So he has gained a lot of time. So now Sved is under attack from his teammate for P2. So very interesting battle to follow on this closing lap of the race, as Seva behind is gained half a second on this lap. Who is gone? He has touched the wall, so he will lose some time there. Yeah, he is going back to 2.5, so it's not gaining much at the moment. Dustin also has gone wide too, so he will lose the slipstream on his teammate and also the position on Tash, as Tash has gone back to P3 and Dustin back to P4, as also Seva and also his teammate Dust are following closely behind. They are separated each by 2 seconds. So let's see if Seva can gain more time with the medium tires compared to the hard tires of the drivers ahead. As now Tash will have the slipstream on Sved on the end of the straight. Let's see who Sved with has gone slightly wider at the hairpin, while Tash has not. So I think Tash will have a better exit speed, but we will see the gap is 1.4, so he will have he has clutched the slipstream just by thousandths of a second. Now he's gaining some speed, but not much. The gap is 1.2 at the end of the straight. As Seva also is gaining, the gap is 1.7, now 1.6. So Seva is well into this battle, so we might have a foursome 4P2 if they keep gaining this much time. As Dustin has gone past Tash, who has done a massive mistake, so he's lost the position also on Seva. So Seva with this fast lap is up to P4. Now we'll have he will have also the slipstream on Dustin, who is ahead by 6 tenths. Dustin does not have the slipstream on Sved, and as he is, the gap is 1.1 on him. But Seva has a massive slipstream on him, and also Tash has a massive slipstream on him. So we have a threesome for the last podium position. As I think Sved, unless he does a mistake, yes, is P2 well safe. As now Seva with a way better line into the hairpin, but it's gone slightly wide. But he still will have the slipstream down the straight, as Tash also has the slipstream. So let's see, they are side by side at the end of the straight. Because the second sector now. Let's see who will come ahead. Seva with a better grip on his tires, but Tash is still battling. Tash also takes the position on Seva, but they're also gaining on Dustin. So this is a very close battle, only 3 tenths behind separating them. Udasian has gone slightly wide there, so Tash and Seva are trying to take the position. It's a very close battle. Let's see now onto the start-finish straight. They're also gaining some time on Sved, but it's still not enough. Dustin is keeping this position. We are only 2 laps to go. Tash has taken a wider line into turn 1 and seems like to work as he has gone past Seva and now he's right behind Dustin. So let's check out if he can pass him into turn 4. Not yet. As Seva now with a tighter line, I think will take the position on Tash. Yeah, it does take the position on Tash, but they are still very closely battling, so this is not over. Dustin has gone wide there. All 3 has gone wide except for Seva, so Seva has a great chance of going past now. It's very close, so it doesn't have a lot of slipstream, as it needs a bigger gap to have a very big effect of slipstream down the straight, so he will stay behind, I think, unless he takes a very good chicane, and he does a very good chicane, so he's gone up to P3. That's a very good recovery for him. Now his next target is Sved just ahead, but the gap is 2 seconds with only 1 lap to go, so this will be very difficult for him, but it's not over. He has very good medium tires right now, so he has gone already up to 1.8 for the gap, so he's gaining a lot of time as we have began the last lap of this race. So white flag, and he's well into the lead with 4.5 seconds gap on Sved. So he will just cruise to the end and try not to bottle it and keep this position, as Seva is trying to gain some time on Sved. Is still not enough, 1.7. So Sved needs a very good hairpin to basically secure his position. We has touched the inside wall, so I think we lose some time. Let's see the gap now, 1.6, 1.63, so it's still not enough, only 1/10. But still 1 sector to go. Seva has a lot of grip on his tire, so let's see. Tash and Dustin are battling very closely. Tash has the slipstream on Dustin, but Dustin also has the slipstream on Seva head. Seva has gone up to 1.1. This is very close. Sved has gone slightly wide. So let's check out the battle for P2 as also the battle for P4 behind. The gap for P2 is now 8/10, and it's around the final corner. Yes, he's gonna take the win of this race and also the win for the World Driver Championship and the wins in New Jersey. But let's check out for P2. Sved will take it. See, the last podium position is for Seva and Tash takes P4. So that's a very good race for them, and they take lots of points home. As Dust goes to P6. The second GP car goes to P7 and P8. Riese will come on to P9. Yoto to P10, and Axel will close the race in P11. So we crown the World Driver Champion for former ROBLOX League with Andy. So that's big congrats to him. He takes home this win and also the championship win. So big congrats to him. Thanks for following this race. We'll see you in a couple of hours for Division 2. Goodbye.